How to get rid of ants in the yard without harming pets. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. The sun is shining, your coffee is steaming, and your dog, Max, is eagerly waiting by the door for his morning run in the yard. You open the door, and out he dashes, ready to explore, sniff, and maybe dig a little. But then you notice something else. Max is curiously sniffing at a long line of ants trailing across your patio. Uh-oh. The last thing you want is for your beloved pet to get stung, or bring these pests into your home. Ants in your yard can be a real nuisance, especially if you're a pet owner. In this post, we'll walk you through everything you need to know about getting rid of ants without putting your pets at risk. The ant problem, knowing your enemy. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of getting rid of ants, let's start with a little ant education. After all, understanding your enemy is half the battle. Ants. An introduction. Ants are social insects, which means they live in colonies with a highly organized structure. Think of an ant colony as a tiny, bustling city. There's a queen who lays all the eggs, workers who forage for food and build the nest, and soldiers who protect the colony. When you see ants in your yard, you're often only seeing a fraction of the colony. Usually these are the workers out on their daily food gathering mission. Why do ants love your yard? Ants are like little treasure hunters. They're always on the lookout for food, water, and shelter. Your yard might have all three, making it the perfect spot for them to set up shop. For instance, maybe you have a fruit tree like an apple tree in your yard. Fallen fruit can be an all-you-can-eat buffet for ants. Or maybe you've been leaving Max's dog food bowl outside. If so, ants love that too. Pet-safe ant control methods. The deep dive. Now that you know why ants are drawn to your yard, let's talk about how to show them the door without putting Max or any of your other pets in harm's way. Here's a deeper dive into the methods we touched on earlier, complete with examples and more detailed instructions. Diatomaceous earth, DA, the ant assassin. Diatomaceous earth is a powder made from the tiny, fossilized remains of aquatic organisms called diatoms. When ants come into contact with DE, it's like walking through a minefield. The powder sticks to their bodies, absorbs their natural oils, and causes them to dry out and die. For ants, DE is deadly. For Max, it's completely harmless. Example usage. Sarah, a dog mom to a playful golden retriever named Bella, was at her wit's end with the ants invading her yard. She didn't want to use chemicals, because Bella loved to roll around in the grass. A friend recommended diatomaceous earth, and it worked wonders. Sarah sprinkled DE around Bella's favorite spots, like under the tree, where she loves to nap, and around the anthills. Within a week, the ants were gone, and Bella was back to her carefree, grass-rolling self. How to use diatomaceous earth. Purchase food-grade DE. Make sure it's labeled as food-grade to ensure it's safe for pets. Sprinkle a fine layer of DE around ant trails, nest entrances, and anywhere else you've seen ant activity. Reapply after it rains, or after you've watered the lawn, as DE loses its effectiveness when wet. Safety tip. Even though DE is non-toxic, it's a fine powder. When you're applying it, wear a mask to avoid inhaling it, and try to keep your pets inside until the dust settles. Vinegar and water, the ant repellent cocktail. Vinegar is a household hero when it comes to natural cleaning, and it's just as effective at repelling ants. The strong smell of vinegar confuses ants by disrupting their scent trails, which they use to find their way around. Example usage. John had a cat named Whiskers, who loved lounging on the windowsill that overlooked the garden. One day, John noticed ants trailing up the side of the house and heading straight for the window. He didn't want Whiskers to get into anything harmful, so he mixed up a vinegar and water solution and sprayed it around the base of the house, the window frame, and along the ant trails. The ants couldn't stand the smell and quickly moved on. Whiskers? She barely noticed anything had changed, except the ants were gone. How to make and use a vinegar ant spray. Mix equal parts white vinegar and water in a spray bottle. Spray the mixture directly on ant trails, around nest entrances, and anywhere else you see ants. For an added layer of protection, spray the mixture around the perimeter of your yard. Safety tip. Vinegar is safe for pets, but the smell can be strong. It's best to keep pets away from freshly sprayed areas until the vinegar dries and the scent fades. Essential oils, the aromatic ant deterrent. Essential oils aren't just for your diffuser, they can also be powerful ant deterrents. Peppermint oil, in particular, is a favorite for repelling ants. The strong scent overwhelms the ants' senses and keeps them from entering treated areas. Example usage. Emma was dealing with a major ant problem in her backyard, and she was concerned because her cat, Shadow, loved exploring every nook and cranny. A friend suggested trying peppermint oil. Emma mixed a few drops of peppermint oil with water and sprayed it around the ant trails. She also soaked cotton balls in the mixture and placed them near the ants' favorite spots. Not only did the ants vacate the premises, but her yard smelled like a refreshing minty garden. How to use essential oils for ant control. Mix 10 to 20 drops of essential oil, like peppermint, tea tree, or citrus, with a cup of water in a spray bottle. Spray the mixture around your yard, focusing on ant trails and nest entrances. For a more targeted approach, soak cotton balls in the mixture and place them around ant-infested areas. Safety tip. While essential oils are generally safe for pets, they can be harmful if ingested in large quantities. Keep an eye on your pets to make sure they're not getting too curious about those cotton balls. Baking soda and powdered sugar, the sweet and deadly ant bait. This method is a bit of a sneaky trick. Ants are attracted to the sweetness of the powdered sugar, but it's the baking soda that will do them in. When ants eat the mixture, the baking soda reacts with the acid in their stomachs, creating gas that ultimately kills them. Example usage. Lisa had tried everything to get rid of the ants around her patio, but nothing seemed to work. She was about to give up when her grandmother suggested a simple mix of baking soda and powdered sugar. Lisa sprinkled the mixture around the ant trails and near the nest. A week later, the ants were gone. Her dog, Rufus, never even noticed the bait, but the ants sure did. How to make and use the baking soda bait. Mix equal parts baking soda and powdered sugar. Place small amounts of the mixture in shallow dishes or directly on the ground near ant nests and trails. Monitor the bait and replace it as needed until the ants are gone. Safety tip. The baking soda mixture is generally safe for pets, but it's still wise to place the bait where your pets can't easily get to it. Boiling water. The quick solution. Boiling water is a simple, immediate way to deal with an ant nest, especially if you've already located it. Pouring boiling water directly into the nest can kill a significant portion of the colony on contact. Example usage. Mike, an owner of a playful beagle named Rocky, found a massive ant nest near Rocky's favorite digging spot. He knew he had to act fast before the ants started biting. Mike boiled a big pot of water and carefully poured it into the nest. It took a few days of repeated boiling water treatments, but soon the nest was abandoned. Rocky went back to his digging, completely oblivious to the former ant invaders. How to use boiling water. Bring a large pot of water to a boil. Carefully pour the boiling water directly into the ant nest entrance. Repeat daily until there is no more ant activity. Safety tip. Be very careful when handling boiling water around pets. Make sure they're safely inside or far away when you're dealing with the nest. Beneficial nematodes. The invisible warriors for ant destruction. Beneficial nematodes are tiny, microscopic worms that live in the soil and are harmless to pets, humans, and plants. However, they're deadly to ants and other soil-dwelling pests. Nematodes enter the bodies of ants and release bacteria that kills them from the inside out. Example usage. Jessica, a garden enthusiast with a curious cat named Luna, was desperate to protect her vegetable garden from ants. After doing some research, she decided to try beneficial nematodes. She ordered a batch online and applied them to the soil around her garden. The ants didn't stand a chance, and her garden and Luna remained safe and thriving. How to apply beneficial nematodes. Purchase nematodes from a garden center or online. Follow the package instructions to mix the nematodes with water. Apply the mixture to your yard using a garden sprayer, focusing on areas with high ant activity. Safety tip. Nematodes are completely safe for pets, but be sure to store any leftover product according to the instructions to prevent accidental ingestion. Long-term prevention. Keeping ants out for good. Now that you've successfully evicted the ants from your yard, let's talk about how to keep them from coming back. Here are some pet-safe strategies for long-term ant prevention. 1. Keep your yard clean and tidy. Ants are scavengers. If your yard offers up a smorgasbord of food, they'll keep coming back. Regularly raking leaves, picking up fallen fruit, and keeping your trash bins sealed can make your yard less appealing to ants. Example: Jenny used to leave her dog, Max's, food bowl outside, thinking he might want a snack later, but she noticed that it attracted ants. Now, she makes sure to bring the bowl inside after Max is done eating, and regularly cleans up any food scraps or spills. The result? Fewer ants, and a much happier Max. 2. Seal potential entry points. Ants are tiny, and can sneak into your home through the smallest cracks. Inspect your home's exterior for any gaps or cracks, and seal them with caulk. This is especially important around doors, windows, and utility entry points. Example: Tom noticed ants coming into his house through a small crack near the back door. He sealed it with caulk, and added weather stripping to the door. The ants couldn't find another way in, and Tom's house and his cat, Whiskers, remained ant-free. 3. Create a natural barrier. Certain plants can act as natural ant repellents. Mint, lavender, and marigolds are known to keep ants at bay. Planting these around the perimeter of your yard or garden can create a natural barrier that ants won't want to cross. Example: Megan loved gardening, but ants were constantly invading her flower beds. She planted a border of mint and marigolds around her garden, and the ants quickly got the message. Not only did her garden thrive, but her dog, Daisy, enjoyed the fragrant, ant-free space. 4. Maintain proper lawn care. Overwatering your lawn can create the perfect environment for ants. Make sure your lawn isn't too soggy, and avoid letting water pool in low areas. Regular mowing and aerating your lawn will also help keep ants away. Example: Dave noticed that ants were particularly bad in the low, damp areas of his lawn. He started aerating the soil regularly and adjusted his sprinklers to avoid overwatering. The ants found his now dry lawn much less appealing, and his dog, Bruno, enjoyed the lush, ant-free grass. When to call in the pros. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, the ants just keep coming. If you've tried everything and still can't get rid of them, it might be time to call in professional help. Many pest control companies now offer pet-safe options for dealing with ants and other pests. Example: Lucy tried everything to get rid of the ants in her yard, but nothing worked. Her dog, Sparky, was starting to get bitten, and she knew she needed professional help. She found a local pest control company that specialized in pet-safe treatments. They treated her yard, and within days, the ants were gone for good. Sparky was finally able to enjoy the yard without any more ant encounters. Conclusion: a pet-safe path to a pest-free yard. Dealing with ants in your yard doesn't have to be a battle between protecting your pets and getting rid of pests. With these pet-safe methods, you can enjoy a pest-free yard without worrying about harming Max, Bella, Whiskers, or any of your other furry friends. Whether you're using diatomaceous earth, essential oils, or even beneficial nematodes, the key is consistency and patience. Ants are persistent, but with the right approach, you can outsmart them and reclaim your yard. So go ahead, mix up that vinegar spray, sprinkle some DE, and plant those marigolds. Your yard will be ant-free in no time, and your pets will thank you for it. Here's to many sunny, ant-free days spent playing with Max, Bella, Whiskers, and all the other pets who make our lives so much better.